All right, we had a load of upsets this week. We had loads of variety of upsets, but this is my top 5 NFC teams entering week 12. Now, keep in mind, each week, we don't know what's going to happen. Each week, we don't know what will happen. So, who's going to be on the next week's list? We don't know. We have no idea who's going to be on this list next week. But that's why the list flows like a river. You don't know what's going to happen. Like they say, on any given Sunday, anything can happen. So, let's get started. But before I do, I want to point out this. Last week, I was 8-6. And then this week, I was 8-6 also. So I tied last week's record. I got the Chiefs, Eagles wrong because I had the Chiefs picked. But apparently Taylor Swift wasn't there, so they didn't get the job done there. And then also I had the Bengals picked over the Ravens. But loads of teams I had picked that I got wrong. So, including my Seahawks, I had the Seahawks winning against the Rams. Of course, the Seahawks lost to the Rams at the last second. But are they still in the list? So let's find out with number 5. Coming in at number 5, like I said, even though they lost to the Rams, the Seattle Seahawks come in at number 5. Now, lots of people are going to get me on this about the Cowboys should be in there. Hear me out. The Seahawks had a majority of their wins against 500 or over teams, including the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns. Then the Cowboys. Have they won against the 500 or over team? No, they haven't. So, that is why I have the Seahawks at number 5. If the Cowboys would have won against a 500 or over team, they would be in the top 5. But just because of that, they aren't in there just yet. Coming in at number 4. For the first time in a few weeks, you got the San Francisco 49ers. Hold on. I got to headed that out here. There we go, San Francisco 49ers. Now, this team I have had off my list for the past 5 weeks because of their 3-game losing streak to the to the Browns, to the Vikings, and the Bengals. But I didn't have them in the Jaguars after they won against the Jags, nor the one against the one against Tampa Bay. So, this is why I have him in my number 4 spot. You got the offense that is led by Purdy, which we don't know what he's going to be able to do, including that rivalry game next week. The Seahawks this week. The Seahawks going against the Niners at home in Lumen. So, Purdy has a load of weapons around him. CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Jennings. You look around this offense, they have so many weapons, including their offensive lineman, Trent Williams, and then, have Chase Young, Nick Bosa, and Fred Warner leading that defensive charge, including that Drake Greenlaw guy, who personally I think he plays maybe a little dirty, but I don't know statistics. But just from what I've seen from Drake Greenlaw, he is a dirty player. But I have tons of respect for that dude. But coming in at number 3, you got a team in the lead of the division, the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Saints have to be shouted out here because they're on a bye week this week. They were on a bye week last week, so they come off their bye, going against the Falcons, which are starting Desmond Ridder. This defense of New Orleans is no joke. They have Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, and then you also got Cameron Jones leading the charge on the defensive pass rushing unit. So, for that reason, I have the Saints coming in at number 3. But number 2, coming in at number 2 after a close win against the Bears, the Detroit Lions. Now, I know that Jared Goff had 3 interceptions this game. I get that. But when he was needed the most, when his team was down and they needed him to perform, he was able to show up right when that moment was needed. I still believe the Lions will win the NFC North. So now coming in at number 1, everybody should know who this team is. Coming off of a big win on the road in Arrowhead, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I had the Chiefs picked because we didn't know what that secondary of the Eagles were going to do. But they showed up this game, forcing a fumble on Kelsey, which he didn't look too good with without his girlfriend in the stands, which we all know Taylor Swift. But this Eagles team is no joke. They are showing up when they are needed to. They are winning those close, ugly games. They are showing up when they are needed. But this Eagles unit is so powerful. You got so many guys on that pass rush. You got Jordan Davis. You got Jalen Carter. You got Fletcher Cox. And also that Sweat dude, I don't know his first, Montez. No, not Montez Sweat. Another Sweat. But then also you got Harrison Reddick. And then also on that offense, you got Jalen Hurts. You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and DeAndre Swift. So, which that Swift performed a lot better than Kelsey did. But for real, I was just wanting to troll Kelsey there a bit. So sorry about that, Kelsey. But this Eagles team is right now my team to win the NFC East because the Cowboys, there ain't no way in heck the Cowboys are beating this Eagles unit. I have them being swept by the Eagles. But that's my list for the week of the NFC. The Eagles coming in at number 1, the Lions at 2, Saints at 3, Niners at 4, and the Seahawks at 5. Of course, we're going to see the matchup between the Niners and the Seahawks coming Thanksgiving night, which is the matchup I have had highlighted on my calendar because, of course, I'm a Seahawks fan, just wearing my Georgia Bulldog gear. But this game will determine if the Seahawks can win the NFC West. So this game is going to be a good one. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on that notification bell. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So long for now.